G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. This is Super Rugby Review. This is the Fijian Drua versus the Hurricanes. Yes, what a crazy game this was. The Hurricanes came out brutal, absolutely brutal, and it was looking like the Hurricanes was going to blow away the Honduras with just set piece and forward dominance, like 80 points, right? Only for the Honduras to get themselves back together, stabilizing those set piece and 3 yellow cards under pressure to the Hurricanes, and wasn't quite enough. Only for the Hurricanes to stay composed under tremendous amount of pressure to hold on and finally absolutely eking out a try in the dying minute of the match to get that crucial bonus point win for this match. 2 undefeated teams going in this match. Fijian Drua undefeated at home. Hurricanes undefeated of the season. Something had to give, and it's unfortunate that Drua had to lose that undefeated streak at home. Yes, guys, we are witnessing history as well today, guys. You know, very rarely do we have the privilege to witness the rise of something, of a talent that is absolutely amazing right in front of our eyes, and we should really appreciate what we're witnessing on the field. That is in the number 12 jersey for the Hurricanes, Jordie Barrett. Yes. You know, Rishi McCaw apparently wrote down his goals for rugby on a napkin. And his goal initially was to make it into the All Blacks. And he'd done so at a very young age. And then he was kind of like, what do I go from here? And he wrote GAB on the same napkin at the bottom. GAB stands for Great All Black. And we are witnessing the rise of another Gab right in front of our eyes in the form of Jordie Barrett. Boy, this guy has been on the rise in that center position, has really just, you can see his progression as a center, right? Everything he you know, in the world, there's 2 types of centers. There's one that is the Sonny Bill Williams, that is the Maya Nonu, the line breakers, the busting runners that breaks the gang line and then try to create space for his teammates. That's something that Jordie Barrett has the physicality and has the skill to do so already. And there's the second type of inside centers, and that is called the second playmaker, right? And that is generally a fly half at 10. Owen Farrell, and back in the days, probably the most famous one in my part of the world is Flatley, and these players have all been specialized in one or the other. And Jordie Barrett might be the first player that are actually world class as a fly half, as a second fly half, and a line breaking, gang line breaking, busting, physical 12, your traditional physical type of 12 as well. And he showed that tonight. You know, the game was really under the pumps for the Hurricanes in the second half. The Honduras was pounding on pressure, penalties everywhere, 3 yellow cards, and Jordie Barrett stayed composed. When there was 13 players on the field, Jordie Barrett, right, held up a try, involved in holding up a try, turnover the breakdowns, and there was one point where there were 3-player overlap on the sideline, and he somehow was able to stop the player from offloading and push him out of bounds. It's just incredible what Jordie Barrett can do. Oh, not to mention that he was able to kick a penalty goal from 40 meters out, pretty much right from the sideline, just to keep his game afloat whilst under pressure during the yellow card period. Yeah, it was just incredible how composed this guy was. You know, in the sold out crowd in Fiji, everybody's against you. He still had that composure to punch that one through to get his team the 3 points, crucial 3 points. Could have been a crucial 3 points. And whilst they were under the pumps, it was just incredible performance, guys. For the Fijian Druas, they were probably looking a little bit disconnected between the boys a little bit, especially in that first half when the set piece was just so much pressure, Tyrell Lomax and everything. But credit to the Fijian Drua forwards, they got themselves back into the game in the second half, stabilized the scrummaging, and when Tyrell Lomax came off, I guess when the yellow cards kicked in, the Honduras actually had a scrum dominance and the set piece dominance as well, and getting penalties in return for themselves out of that. And, there was times I thought Fijian probably could have managed the game a little bit with a little bit more patience in the second half, especially when they had that 13-player advantage. They probably just rushed it a little bit, maybe just rushed it a little bit, got a little bit impatient. Players probably just played a little bit too tight and really didn't look out for the space out wide. And really a bit of really disappointing to see they're not able to get any tries on the board while I was playing against the yellow cards. They were so desperate, they opted to take 3 points with 2 yellow cards in the bin against 13 players. That just, again, shows how much the Hurricanes were able to stay in the fight with players like Jordie, Barrett leading the charge. Yes, just incredible performance. And so with that being said, let's have a look at the match stats. You will not believe some of these numbers that came out of this game. 5 tries to 2 for the Hurricanes with a bonus point. Fijian Drua 606 run meters to the Hurricanes 292. More than doubled the run meters. Yeah, how do they not score more tries? Really speaks test volumes of the Hurricanes' work rate and what they were able to achieve with 2 players in the bin, on the field against the Fijians. 20 turnovers conceded. This is what I was talking about. Lots of little knock-ons, lots of frustrated, discipline issues, turnover, the breakdowns, and something that Honduras will have to look at off the field with their head coach. Hurricanes 12 turnovers conceded, and this is like the big difference. 50 tackles only have to be made for the Fijian Honduras, 20 missed tackles. That is very high tackle miscount rate for the Honduras. There really shouldn't be this many missed tackles when there's only 50 being made. For the Hurricanes, 236 tackles made, 36 missed tackles, absolutely brutal. And just a lot of hard defense for them as well. So good kicking game out of the Hurricanes, 25 kicks and then the Fijian Honduras, as you would expect, probably got a little bit impatient, not really playing the kicking game, trying to run the ball just about anywhere, every opportunity they had, and not really getting that result that they were looking for. 3 lineouts lost for the Honduras out of 19. Hurricanes 9, 0 loss. The scrum, 1 scrum loss against the feed to the Hurricanes despite the overwhelming dominance in the first half. Lots of the penalties, in fact, by the Honduras, probably half the penalties from the Honduras were scrum penalties. Is it only 6? I thought it was a bit more than that. 6 penalties considered for the Honduras. Wow, that is incredible. And Hurricanes, 16 penalties considered with 3 yellow cards. 2 of the yellow cards were just repeated penalties under warning, and then 1 yellow card was to a high shot to the head. Poor tackle technique from Karefi, and something they need to look at. The penalties count has been an issue for the Hurricanes for a very long time now, pretty much for the entire season now. It is something that the coaches really need to get a grip on, because this sort of penalty count numbers is really not going to be something that could potentially be a big issue when it comes to winning the premiership, winning the championship towards the end of the year. Yeah. Anyway, let's go through some of the moments of the game. Let's recap on some of the happenings. So the Hurricanes was on the board 6 minutes into the game. So they were the Fijian Drua was under the pumps quite early on in the game. The Hurricanes had a penalty right in front, didn't take 3 points, went for the scrum option. Fijian Drua defended it. They looked like they had got themselves out of trouble. The Hurricanes were running back into the 50. The winger on the Hurricane side, on the left wing, who was it? Riasi kicked the ball behind, and there was a bit of an awkward bounce. The ball was knocked on by the Fijian Drua player, and then it was scooped up by Billy Proctor. Boom! Try time stretched through under the post. 7 points to nil to the Hurricanes. And 10 minutes into the game, just a few minutes later, after this try was scored on 6 minutes, Fijian Drua got themselves back on the board as well. The debutant new kid in the fly half jersey, Rabitu, goes in for the Honduras. There was a nice little pick and go by Marcy around the rocks, found himself a little bit of space, and then as it was getting tackles, nice little offload, and Rabitu was free. Try time, 7 points to 7. 40 minutes into the game, there was a 5-meter scrum for the Hurricanes, and it was just, the scrum was just too much pressure. The number 8 Flanders came out, And it looked like he did a bit of dummy and go, and he did a bit of a dummy and looked in front of him. There was just the number 9 in front of him, the tiny little number 9. Who was it? Kuravoli, I think it was his name is. Is that his name? Kuravoli? Is that how you say his name? Yeah, Kuravoli. And then he just like used his size and just basically walked over him for the second try for the Hurricanes. 7 points to 14. The next try, 34 minutes into the game, Jordie Barrett goes in for the try for the Hurricanes. There was a strong penalty advantage for the Hurricanes. They just played on. They had the ball down on the left-hand side, and then they spread ball right out to the right-hand side. Billy Proctor ran through a little gap down center field. Again, Jordie Barrett just directing the ball, fed the ball to him perfectly, ran down the middle of the field, offloading field to TJ Piranara, and another offload to Jordie Barrett. Under the post, try time, 21 points to 7. 36 minutes of the game, I thought there was a bit of a 50-50 call from Paul Williams. There was a there was like a break from the Hurricanes, and one of the Drua players was penalized at the breakdown. It looked like he had jackled on the ball, and then he was pushed down by the Hurricanes players entering the rocks, and then the referee says he was off his feet. I thought there was a few tough calls this game against for the referee against the Druas, especially in the first half, I felt. But anyway, let's move on. 38 minutes into the game, there was a line out, there was a Moore, and James O'Reilly on the receiving end of this. Moore just goes in for the try, and really, really well orchestrated Moore from the Hurricanes. They basically had the Moore going straight, and then as they see all the defenders started to come in, the left-hand side was open, so the Moore just like rolled onto the left-hand side towards the sideline, and then Riley went in for the try. So good, so well executed from the Hurricanes. Now, second half, the game completely turned around for the Druas. There was a what happened here? 5 minutes into the second half, there was a penalty against the Hurricanes. The Fijian Drua went for the line out, went for the Moore, and they basically they threw the ball in to the guy right at the end. And Hurricanes just made this like amateur error. This was a very, very amateur error. This was pretty close inside the 22, and Hurricanes decided to contest with 2 pods. So 2 pods went up, and the ball was still failed to get the ball. Fijian Drua recovered the ball at the end and just set up a Moore. And because Hurricanes put up 2 pods, they just did not have enough people to defend this Moore, and the momentum just carried Fijian straight through for the try. Salawa goes in for the Druas. 12 points to 28, the scoreboard, 45 minutes into the game. And you can see that the momentum is starting to shift for the Druas at this point. But boy, Hurricanes had to bring on their reserves early, 45 minutes into the game. They got a warning for repeated penalties around 55 minutes into the game. The Druas just putting on pressure. And then 61 minutes into the game, Amora came off the field with a leg injury. Hopefully, it doesn't look good for him. He has been so good on fire for the Hurricanes. 63 minutes into the game, Karifi, high shot, got sent off for a yellow card. 64 minutes into the game, immediately after one yellow card was sent off, another player was sent off. I think it was the number 5 from the Hurricanes for killing the ball at the breakdown right in front of the try line. And no try. Another yellow card, 13 play in the bin. And Fijian Drua, she just kept pounding the pressure, went for the scrum, got the dominance. Makawalu crashed over, and this is when Jordie Barrett was involved. They looked like they had just held the ball up. The camera angle couldn't see whether the ball was grounded or not. May or may not have been grounded, but it looked like there was no clear evidence. But the referee decision on the field was no try. So no try. Jordie Barrett saves one, I guess, there. After this, Jordie Barrett was somehow able to defend a 3-man overlap by himself and got the player with the ball out of bound. I don't know, mate. It was just absolute got-more engaged by Jordie Barrett here. And later on got a turnover as well. 69 minutes in the game, the Fijian Drua are so desperate for some points. They actually kicked 3 points, opted to take 3 points following a penalty, despite having 2 players still in the bin for the Hurricanes. There were scrum penalties as well against the Hurricanes due to, I guess, one player missing in the bin. 73 minutes in the game, 45 meters right out from the sideline. Jordie Barrett kicks 3 points for the Hurricanes just to keep them in the game for the second half, and take the scoreboard up to 31 points to 15. And finally, the 78 minutes of the game, the story kind of repeated itself for the Endurers. Lock-ons, not really clinical. They had one last opportunity to try to get a try. They went for the line out, they went for the maul, and the maul was sacked, and the ball did not come out. And Hurricanes defended that again with 14 players. And there was another yellow card against one of the Hurricanes players, Delaney, for, again, repeated penalties against the team. Warning, he was, I think, not supporting his own weight in the rocks or something. Another yellow card was sent off there. And then finally, on the 80th minute, the Hurricanes, with the play in the bin, wanted to get a bonus point. They went for the bread and butter, went for the line out. First line out was penalized. One of the Endurers interfered, grabbing onto the hand on the jumper, and then with a penalty, Hurricanes went for another line out, this time about 5 meters away, and then they went for the line out, went for the maul, just short, and then the hooker, pick and go, try time for the Hurricanes, 38 points to 15, bonus point win, and boy, yes, perfect season still intact for the Hurricanes. Commiserations to the Fijian Druas, and let me know your thoughts about this game, guys. Like and comment and subscribe, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later. I don't know if I want to do review on the Reds game. We'll see how that goes, and thanks for watching. Cheers.